Let's see what's cooking at Cowley High.
Lovely.
Say that. I made it up.
I made these apple pies yesterday.
And again. Say it again. Pick it up.
I made these apple pies yesterday and I'm just not coming over.
Hi, my name's Neil.
Hi, my name's John.
We're here on work experience.
We're here for 2 weeks at Bowl Veterinary Clinic.
And we love it.
Listen to your father, listen to your brother. Take every chance that comes. Maybe you'll find someone you don't need to argue. You just need each
I help my dad in the milk round on Thursdays and Fridays. On a Friday we're usually just doing callbacks. So it's quite hard work, you have to run a lot.
Is there anyone who has the question paper now? Right, we'll start now, 9 o'clock, sharp, an hour and a half, 10:10.
What you decided to go.
It's been going on for about 7 or 8 years. Started at my old school where there was one lad. He'd just come to the school and he decided it'd be fun to start it in me. And then the rest of them joined him. Being thumped, yeah, it is quite a regular basis and you have to put up with it. It worries me sometimes, on a night usually. I'll be lying there in bed and I'll think, God, do I have to go to school the next day? My attitude to it's all just let it happen and then it's all over and done with. As soon as that's happened, just forget about it. I tried telling them jokes, but it just doesn't work. I just say, not funny. And just walk away, or it depends which one they decide to do. You could say it tests some skills as a stand-up comic, but in their case it's like a sit-down comic. Or even a lie-down comic.
I'm on my work experience. I'm at Triplets Canteen. And as you can see, I have to do the messy jobs as well as the good ones.
Hi, I'm Sean Slater. I'm 15. I'm in the 4th years. And I want to be a chef when I grow up. Chef and actor. Because acting is not going to take up a full-time job.
Tomatoes without the juice. Pudding? Yeah. Got 2 toast as well, please.
And please for Annie.
Goodbye.
Seen him? Yeah, I've seen him. Shouldn't get in the way.
Back. Sing words.
Turn it. Perfect. one.
Oh, yeah, you are that. One, as it says there, has attended regularly, punctually, highly motivated, shows a lot of initiative, is able to follow a complex sequence of instructions, can manage and organise work unaided, has a friendly disposition, and it gets on well with others, works well in a team, and is a very confident person. How about that?
Fucking lies.
Anyway, don't come dressed like that. But you'll be there tonight.
Oh yeah, I'll come dressed like you.
And as I say, I've spoken to your supervisors, and they think you're doing really well.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't going to show you around.
This is consulting room 1. They're consulting someone now.
No, in fact, what he's done is this one. It feels like the ligament in the knee's gone.
Oh, is that what it's saying?
Which is probably due to old age.
My name's Neil. I'm 15. I'm doing year 10 at Cowley School. The other lad that was doing it with me was John. He too likes animals. I don't have many friends. Not many friends. I'll say I've got my own share. Calm down.
The anaesthetic is in 2 parts. The first part is basically induction. That's where we make the animal go to sleep very, very quickly with an injection into the vein. So we're going to induce this animal now. Okay, there we go. Just pop his back legs out. That's fine.
I always just wanted to be an archaeologist until I found out that it's just hard and boring. What kind of qualifications do you need?
Right. Well, first of all, you need pretty good O-levels. You go on to do A-levels. Generally, you need science A-levels. The most important one is actually chemistry. You need quite high grades nowadays, 3 A's, sort of an A in each subject. The training is about 5 years long at most of the universities. It's quite an intensive course. And obviously, the things like working for the RSPCA inspector, obviously that's within the realm of dealing with animals, animal husbandry. And also, obviously, in prevention of cruelty to animals. Other areas are veterinary nursing. You need currently, I think, either 4 or 5 O-levels to start on a veterinary nursing course.
Come to me.
I live in a street that was no other houses in. I was the only one Hayfield Street, just off North Road. I have one brother, he's 22, and he's out of work, I'm afraid. And I've got a sister who's got a 1.5-year-old baby, which is a little pain. His name's David. He likes coming up to me and calling me daddy, but I say, no, I'm not your daddy.
Forward, backward. Forward, backward. He likes going.
Cherishes the baby, she showers it with love, as my sister does. But you can lose your temper with him sometimes when he's messing about with everything.
What's up?
I'm doing A-level Latin, A-level History, A-level French and GCSE Italian. I haven't done a thing for my Italian and my Italian teacher would kill me. I quite enjoy my Latin, so I thought, well, I'll do some Latin revision. But my history's been neglected because I'm not particularly interested in it.
So how did your history test go? Really?
Didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
Well, no, but everyone else wasn't doing it, so I thought, well, I can't spoil the, you know. Well,
Why didn't you
no one
do
else has revised for it, and I'd only half revised for it, and I would have revised for it in the 2 that I had free before the test. But seeing as everyone else wasn't going, I thought, well,
I've seen over the last couple of months
well, he doesn't know yet.
a little bit of edginess with Louise
He
Anne.
doesn't know yet, because
The pressure is beginning to show on her more than I've ever seen before.
maybe tomorrow. Well, me and Jen said that
It
we'll do
certainly
it
wasn't as bad at O level as what it is at A level. The pressure is tremendous.
We'll do it in our books
It's a
tomorrow.
shame, really, because you need to work on your history more than any of the other subjects, don't you? Really. It would have been good for you to do that. What about the rest of your revision? Your French and...
My French is alright, sort of ish.
and your
Lost me Cicero translation. Not all of it, only bits of it.
The one thing that interests me a little about Craig is and as Mum mentioned, this Jekyll and Hyde characteristic, this change of character. He seems to be quite good, again, on the practical side of things.
Right.
And yet, in other lessons, there's a quick change.
At the end of the day, he likes to please as well. And he likes to receive his commendations. He likes to receive some good reports from his teachers. So we've got here a child who's at 13 years, 3 months, but whose reading and spelling skills are between 8 years, 9 months and 9.5 years. And looking at his classwork books, that shows itself because he writes very little in his exercise books. Sometimes he doesn't complete the work. And that, I'm sure, is because at times he feels that he cannot perhaps do it as well as the other pupils, and he can find more interesting things to do with his time.
Many teachers have commented that even within the same lesson, that if he's doing something of a practical nature, he will be there doing it. As soon as he comes to the written side of things, the more theoretical side, then he pulls up on that.
Yes.
And that's when he's likely to misbehave. In art, for example, his work, again, is very good, very praiseworthy. And he really enjoys himself in those particular lessons. If we're looking at Deanne, and just reading through the report, the one observation straight away is the anxiety seems to come through. And I just wonder, is there anything further that you feel might be an underlying cause to that anxiety?
No, I just think it's that she doesn't like to be shown to be having difficulties with reading and writing. So we're looking at somebody who at 12 years and 7 months has got literacy skills of between 6 years 6 months and 6 years 9 months. So it's important that the written work that she's required to do is at a level at which she could complete that, but at the same time interesting to her. So we've got a child of 12 and a half years of age. She needs to have books which are going to be of interest to a 12-and-a-half-year-old in terms of story content or information, and yet are going to be simple enough for the average 6-and-a-half-year-old or 7-year-old to be able to read. So that's going to involve searching for texts that are going to fit that sort of bill.
That'll do me. Where's my bin? Where's my bin? One bin? One bin. When I'm bimming windows. Have you got any scraper? I'll get up with this. Best quality eggs then. Hey, free range. Free range.
We started
Eric and Jacob, we'll make your windows sparkle like new. Wonder where they get them from, these eggs. Bet they don't buy them. I didn't do this when you was in the SAS, Eric. I didn't SAS train for this. Eh? bet these kids have learnt nothing at maths today. They've been watching me.
We don't want to stand up and say, you know, we're the only school that's got bullying because we're prepared to address it. We are prepared to address it, but the problem isn't enormous.
That's right.
But it's nevertheless there.
That's right.
And I feel that we ought to make this as loose as we possibly can.
I'd said bullying may be described as any behaviour calculated to, or perceived by the victim to, give power to the perpetrator and induce powerlessness in the victim. I've tried to say there that it's a very, very individual and particular form of behaviour that can only be addressed with particular and individual answers.
Now this is my bully box. It's called a bully box. It's really a bully file. And in there is a lot of information that children have written themselves about what they felt like when they were being bullied and how they felt, what the person did to them, why they think that they did it, and what did it make them want to do. And as a matter of course, when the child comes to me, we talk about it for a while, and they're obviously very upset. And then she writes it down, or he writes it down. And it's amazing when that is read back through to the person who has actually been causing it, how they look in horror and think that, have I really been doing that? You know? Now, in some circumstances, that's all it takes, and the problem is solved. But I have to say that I have been through this quite recently with one child in particular, and that wasn't resolved with that. And I had to go further down the line, and that child was actually suspended from school as a result. And she said to me, or somebody said to me, that she really thought that I was bluffing, that I wouldn't have gone that far because she didn't think it was that serious.
If you get two absolutely horrendous questions which you hadn't anticipated, so that you've got something positive to fall back on. True or not true? Of course it's true. It always has been. Okay, on to the second sheet. The essay. 8 details. Octopus. Draw yourself a circle with the topic in the middle of it and put the 8 tentacles coming off it for the 8 points that you want to make. You can do that while you're preparing, you can do it while revising, you can actually do it on the paper itself. The TV Times is not going to be a great help to you in your revision schedule. The back page of the Sunday Sport or whatever is not really going to overcome your problems with, I don't know, using the passive or whatever it might be. So use the facilities that you have as effectively as you can. Very rapidly onto the translation. Point A, it makes sense. You know how tempting it is to sit there and say, this doesn't make sense. The answer is, of course, that it does. They're not going to give you something to translate which ends up like the sort of London telephone directory or something like that. It does make sense. Look at the next one. Now, I don't know whether you've ever tried this. This was something I was encouraged to do about 1 million years ago when I was at university. Try working from the back so you don't lodge the idea in your mind in the first place. You allow yourself to be reasonably flexible to come up with something which does make sense. Okay, we're just about at the end, ladies and gents. I would strongly advise you to make sure that you have a good working knowledge of what we were doing on Monday and this bit that we've just been going through now. Okay?
I will
Thank you very much,
certainly
ladies and gents.
be
Off you go.
glad for her when the pressure's off and it's the end of June.
If you don't know where you're going to be writing from next time, there's not a lot you can do about it, really. Okay, so put the present one on, say when you're going to move, and simply say that at some point you'll let them know. Are you going to have any of those change of address cards or whatever made? People do sometimes.
She does come over
quite
as
easy.
being quite outgoing or quite confident, but in actual fact she's not as confident as she, she appears to be.
Really?
Never really hit me till this morning. I was just making a joke out of it with Andrew. And it just dawned on me and
Hang on hard. English people are so horrendously standoffish in situations like this. Oh, I mustn't let anybody see that I'm upset or I'm worried or whatever. It's crazy. You'd just like it not to be there at the moment, wouldn't you? More than anything else. You've got to just let it go. And if you hadn't got wretched things like exams in the meantime, you'd be able to cope with it with your usual cheerfulness and so on. But you just can't at the moment, can you? And when you feel you're drowning, shout.
Anyway, tell old Jack a bit about yourself, like. I don't know anything about you. About me? Yeah, about you.
I'll tell you all about me now. I think you'll understand. They shout at me and put me down. They never give a helping hand. Well, I could shout if I wanted to, but in the end I'm just like you. And I've given up talking to those who put me down.
Don't blame you.
I know what I want to do is turn it all around.
I think being an actor is realistic. I mean, you have proven ability to believe in yourself and believe that you're good at what you're going to do. It takes a lot of muscle to stand up in front of a lot of people and do what you have to do, sing or dance.
We know what we want to do is turn it all around.
And the louder they shout at you,
the quieter I'll sound.
the louder they shout.
They're the first ones. Right. That's just a normal post.
Thank you.
And I'll go and get the others for you now.
Right, Ruby. It's just all the way. You don't have to go first. £22.35,
Can I borrow your pen to do
please.
this check?
You can, love. Thank you.
How much is it?
£22.35.
There you go.
Where are you, Chris? Shout loud! Chris Peddy! You just answer me then, where is he?
You did it before.
Bob says he can't do it.
Sometimes you want to go like that.
He's pulling them back. Unless you what? Climb over the bars.
Sir! Mr. Harrison!
What? All right, I'll get Chris to do it. Hello, Chris. When I shouted you, did you answer me before? And then you ran off?
No, I went to the toilet.
All right.
Have you seen that girl there that he fancies her? He fancies this girl. It's him, he fancies this girl. Oh, did you hear that one about the white horse? Right. This white horse goes into a pub, right, and he goes, can you have a whiskey? So the man goes, right, what type of whiskey do you want? We got teachers, scotch, bells and all. Goes, bells, while you're at it, like, you know. He goes, well, we have got this one named after you. He goes, what? Eric? White horse, Eric? Cracking that over.